Hi, my name is Stas, and today I'll show you how to build a moving rig with a Zcam K1 Pro 180 degrees VR camera. We will need the camera itself, SD cards, the custom LEMO D-Tap power cable, a Wi-Fi antenna, a D-Tap extender, a V-mount battery with a D-Tap port, weights for the gimbal, and a gimbal that can carry 2 kilograms, aka 4.4 pounds, or above. Also, the gimbal's handle. Check the full list in the video description. The gimbal also features a double grip handle. You will see later in the video how to put an LED ring on it and some issues you might face when shooting with a double grip. Now prepare the camera, because we will balance the gimbal with a ready-to-shoot camera on it. Let's put in the SD cards. Then mount the Wi-Fi antenna. Now let's put together the gimbal itself. We're going to use a regular handle for now. It's important to have one axis on the right side because the camera's power cables are on the right side. Use this side of a gimbal to attach power cables with the help of cable ties. Cables shouldn't get in the way. Take out the mount plate. Put the gimbal aside for now. When mounting, it's really important to put the camera more to the front, because if we mount our VR camera in the middle, like we would mount a regular camera, the mounting gimbal will get in the frame of 200 degrees or 220 degree lenses. Ideally, we would mount the camera on the very front of the plate, but then we would need to balance it with weights. Keep in mind that the gimbal only carries 2 kilograms, aka 4.4 pounds, and we don't want to go above that. That's why I recommend placing the camera something like this, so we don't intrude into the 180 degree field of view, and likely not even for the 200 degree. Secure the camera. Put the plate back on the gimbal. Tighten it up. Balance the camera with caps off. I balance the gimbal with weights that you need to buy separately. These are 1/4 inch screw weights and they fit nicely on the mount plate.
Вы можете найти инструкцию по балансировке конкретно своего стабилизатора, но она логика.
Other gimbals might be constructed slightly different, but the same logic applies. I'll do some cable management to make it easier to balance the gimbal. Here, I use the D-Tap extender, and then using cable ties, I attach it to the side. Let's make sure that our camera rotates freely and nothing gets in the way. Then we move to the bottom axis. Do the same here. Make sure nothing gets entangled or catches any part of the gimbal. The camera should be able to rotate freely. Now let's balance the gimbal. Our camera leans forward. This means we need to slightly shift it back. It's important to notice here that we have our power cable attached, and since we are balancing our camera as if we were ready to shoot, our power cable gets in the way here. This cable limits our ability to move the camera any further than this. On the positive side, the gimbal's motor won't get in the footage because our camera is placed on the front. Those weights seem to be just the right amount to balance this axis. Now let's balance the next axis. The camera leans forward, so we need to adjust it slightly as well. Now it's balanced. Then the second axis. And now the last axis. Let's see. The camera is off a little. Let's move it to the side and tighten it up. Let's try again. It's better now. The camera is horizontal to the floor. Let's turn on the gimbal. Everything looks right. The gimbal is balanced. Let's see how it works. When choosing a gimbal setting, make sure it doesn't roll. The camera should stay horizontal. If you want, you can choose your tilt like this, but it's totally up to you. I recommend using fixed roll mode. Now onto our power solution. As I mentioned before, we will use a V-mount battery. If you have a Zcam K1, there's a holder for an NPF battery, which attaches on top of the camera, so the battery is hanging on the back. Then you can balance the camera with an NPF battery attached and avoid using weights. If the camera is too deep inside the gimbal, it'll capture the gimbal's motors, and so you should use the weight again. In this tutorial, we are going to use a V-mount battery with a nice power capacity. It's really handy, and it lets us keep the whole gimbal lighter. Just insert your D-tap extension into the D-tap port. We keep the battery in the pocket or a fanny pack around your waist. Now onto the accessories. Since we have a moving camera, we recommend shooting with a smartphone. Connect your smartphone with the Zcam via Wi-Fi, and with the help of Magic Arm and a smartphone grip, we can attach it here. In case your gimbal doesn't have holes for extensions, you can find adapters that you can use to get more holes for extensions. So here is our setup. Here I have a double grip setup in a full trim. The battery goes into your pocket or fanny pack. Here is a double-handed grip, smartphone and LED ring. Let's turn the light on. Our LED ring works with an NPF battery. Be careful shooting with a double-handed grip. The handles should not get into the view. It's a really convenient grip, but be careful when moving around. Move slowly. Do not do any fast turns.
Такие резкие повороты не допускаются. Свет
The LED ring is mounted to the side extension with a magic arm.
через Magic Arm. И работает и показывает
This setup works really well overall.
долго с практической точки зрения.
And that's it for today. See you later.